Hey guys, my name is Victoria Wilson. I am a certified birth doula. I own and operate Motherwell Doula. And today we are going to be going through my doula bag. I go back on call tomorrow for my summer clients. I'm very excited. And usually right before I go on call, I kind of go through my bag, make sure everything's there, freshen it all up. So I thought I would bring you along with me. And first things first, this is my bag. You can kind of see it's a rolly suitcase. Some people will share backpacks as their doula bags. And I have to tell you, I started that way. For several years, I carried a backpack to birth, and I switched actually in, I want to say it was the fall of 2021, back when the COVID Delta variant was running rampant. I actually got COVID. And following that, I had a hard time breathing and walking for several months. And I was about to head back on call as well then. So my husband said, well, why don't we get you like a suitcase or something you can roll, so you're not like huffing and puffing with this big backpack on your back. And it was sort of like we went, picked this out, and there she was. You know, I love this backpack so much. I like that it rolls. As you'll see in a second, I like that I can just open it flat and like see everything immediately that I need. Of course, if I ever encounter stairs, something like that, it's kind of a bummer. There is a handle, but you know, it's still kind of like lugging up a big burden upstairs. But most places I go, I roll. You know, if I'm walking up the street to someone's house or through a hospital, it works really well. So let's kind of see what I have inside. And I will move the camera so you can see kind of this bird's eye view of the backpack. So it kind of coming around. Here's my closet office. This is how it lays. And then I can just unzip, lay it flat, and I have everything that I need. My rebozo, I'll fold that up. I usually fold that. And then I have found it best to have things in like packages. So this, for example, is my Comfort Measures bag. This might be harder to do one-handed than I ever thought. Comfort Measures bag. I've got my cold options, got my rice socks for heat, got my tennis balls, lotion for massage, combs for pressure points. So that's my Comfort Measures bag. Everything's there. This has been my tried and true lighting bag. I used to carry Christmas lights as well as battery operated candles, but now I still got my battery operated candles, and it's kind of funny. I left these in the car one summer and they sort of melted, so now they really look like actual candles. In fact, a nurse one time thought I was actually burning real candles in the hospital. It's kind of funny. I used to carry big bulky Christmas lights, but thanks to Gen Z and their love of LED lighting, we now have really sleek LED lights. So I just use these little fairy lights, kind of like what I've got up in my office here. I love that I can change the color and the mood. That's really helpful. And they're much, more compact than a Christmas light. So check, that's there. What else we've got? I've got my TENS unit. Highly recommend getting trained. If you've been a doula for a while, you know this is what you want to do. A TENS unit is really helpful. I'll go through and make sure I've got the batteries and all the parts just to double check. I skipped over this. This is another comfort measure option. This is actually a hollow rolling pin. And this is sort of a sweet story to me. My doula used this for me in the birth of my second baby. She was my biggest baby. I had tons of just like back pain, back pressure. It was very intense. But filling this full of ice water and rolling it on my back was like chef's kiss. So good. I actually had to find this on eBay. I know there's a reason. If you're a baker, maybe tell me in the comments, why do bakers need really cold or really hot water, hot rolling pins? But for labor, this has worked great. And again, it kind of has a cool special story. So I love using that. These is my bag of honey sticks and sort of sugar for me for coffee, but honey sticks for the clients in case, we're getting tired and maybe you're at the point in labor you don't really feel like eating. Or I often find it helpful in pushing. If pushing is going long and people just need like quick energy, these honey sticks are so helpful. So I just keep a whole bag full of them there. Then I've got our sort of, pandemic days, got some masks, got some hand sanitizer, got some Kleenexes and gloves. This is sort of my PPE kit, I suppose. And then last, this might kind of be surprising, I carry a lot of resources with me. And there's a couple reasons. One of them, I'll kind of maybe explain why is there a crocheted breast in my doula bag. The reason for this is because I was noticing if I needed to show clients something like for getting started with breastfeeding at the bedside, it kind of was getting awkward because I was like holding myself and that was just a little weird. So I thought, you know what, we're going to get a crocheted breast so I can demonstrate like how to hold, how to, you know, the part of the breast the baby should have in their mouth, that sort of thing. This has been really helpful. Obviously, conversation starter. It's pretty funny as well. I'll link the Etsy shop in the comments. But yeah, this has definitely been very helpful to have. Other resources I'll show you. I've got this from Evidence-Based Birth. It's a pocket guide to induction. It's really helpful. It breaks down evidence for induction, but also different induction methods and medications you might come across. That's super helpful. Both kind of pharmacologic and, you know, natural options you might see. This is sort of a unique one. I carry a birth deck with me. It's 50 ways to comfort a woman in labor. Again, I'll link this in the show notes or the show. I've been recording my podcast, which I'll also link in the comments, but I'm thinking all about show notes right now. I will link these in the YouTube comments. But this is really helpful. Again, if birth, you know, sometimes obviously if birth is going, you know, quickly, smoothly, there's not a lot of tension. I don't open my bag at all. I just am there. But sometimes if it's a little longer or maybe it's an induction, we just kind of need a pep or some ideas. I love pulling this out and saying like, okay, well, we're going to play a card game. We're going to go through these and pick a couple things to try and maybe pick a few and we'll do them all together just to shake up our approach. They have, you know, affirmations you can read. They have ideas like get out the chapstick. You know, there's positions in here. I'm trying to find a position card for you. Yeah, here's some ways to move in labor. So literally I will say like, let's play a card game. Let's pick a few of these and then implement in the birth. And it's always kind of fun. And also it's a helpful reset. Again, if things are just going long and hard, and you just need some other ideas. And then similarly, I have this big old green folder of resources that I got back in 2016 when I went to a Passion for Birth training. So funny. I'll link also in the comments a place that my trainer, Robin Elise Weiss, she now trains through another, who started her own, I guess, company along with Sharon Muja, who's incredible for teaching childbirth educators. And so I'll link their information because a lot of my childbirth techniques, like all of them honestly, are from her, Dr. Robin Elise Weiss. So that was a freebie. But in this folder, I keep so many things. I keep, you know, my peanut ball guides to kind of help and demonstrate. It helps me demonstrate to clients what I want to do. Again, it helps me refresh if I'm just sort of tired and it's like, okay, I need ideas. What else do we do next? It just quickly jogs your memory. I've also found it helpful to have visual resources to show nurses like what I'm thinking. You know, sometimes depending on the nurse you get, they may or may not be familiar with some birth options. So I find it really helpful to say, hey, this is, you know, what I wanted to set up in the bed. Can you help me? Or, you know, can we do this together? Or here, if they have questions, I can just literally hand this to them and say, oh, hey, here's, you know, here's from Lamaze. Here's what I'm doing. I find that super, super helpful. So set you back over here, you guys. This is super vlog style, I guess. You're getting some real life. So yeah, that's like all in my main like client support area. That's what I use. I have another side. You saw that zipper side of the bag. It's kind of my personal items. And so, you know, I've got things like my toiletries kit, you know, toothbrush, toothpaste, hairbrush, changes of like undergarments, medicine. Here's some ibuprofen in there. I also just tend to keep my doula scrubs in here. So I bought myself a scrub cap because one of our local hospitals, they have always let me into the OR, but sometimes there's always a question of like, ooh, can the doula come in today? I don't know. And one of the reasons one day we encountered is they were saying, we don't know if we have enough extra like PPE or scrub caps for the doula. So I thought, you know what? I can bring my own scrub cap. Problem solved. You can't say no to the OR because I have my own scrub cap. And then I also just keep all my clothes. I always bring a change of clothes. Always, because I certainly have been splashed with amniotic fluid and birth tub fluid and all sorts of things. So I just bring my clothes, roll them all up in here. And also, you know, for middle of the night changing, if I kind of know a client's gonna be calling me, honestly, I'll go ahead and just put a set of clothes out. But I've got 3 sets of clothes total. So I'm wearing one It's kind of overkill, but I have 2 in the bag. And that's just because you never know when the next client's going to go into labor. You know, I don't know if I'm going to get a chance to do laundry. So I always keep those with me. And it's also nice, again, I just know if my doula bag is with me, no matter where I am, I could change, go to the birth, be ready to rock and roll. So that's really helpful. So that's what's in my doula bag. Again, you know, kind of a closing thought I would have is some doulas think like you don't really need all the tools. Some doulas think you definitely need all the tools and you need to go buy everything right away if you're a new doula. One thing I'll say I've observed, and you kind of see in my items, I guess I have like a good amount of items in here. It's certainly not exhaustive. I do think as a doula, your most important tools are your head, heart, and hands. But I've started saying sometimes my head, heart, and hands get tired. And so all of these things are to support me, support my head, heart, and hands while I support clients. And yeah, it's been great. I used to be really notorious at leaving things at birth. In fact, I still am, because a client I'm going to tomorrow for a postpartum visit has my Apple Watch. So that's hilarious. But having a doula bag that's just got everything I need, honestly, has kind of helped that. Having one bag, again, that's just sort of, it's a little larger because it's a suitcase, but I just know I can throw everything in there and like sort through it later. It's kind of helped me not leave as much stuff at birth. So that's what I use. I really enjoy what I do. You know, going through these just makes me really excited to get to support my next client in labor. And I hope this is helpful if you're a doula or if you're just a pregnant mom, pregnant person, looking for what to put in my hospital bag. All these tools would certainly help you in labor. So you guys have a good day.